everyone. Today we are going to read the book Ivan, the Remarkable True Story of the Shopping Mall Gorilla. If you have seen the movie, The One and Only Ivan, or read the chapter book, The One and Only Ivan, this tells the true story of what happened to Ivan the gorilla. So let's dive into the story, and after I'm finished reading, I have a fun activity for us to do. In leafy calm and gentle arms, a gorilla's life began. The baby was born in a tropical forest in Central Africa. He was part of a large family of Western lowland gorillas. This troop included babies, juveniles, females, and a male leader, the silverback. The more the baby gorilla grew, the more he played. The more he played, the more he learned. He rode on his mother's back. He listened to the hoots and grunts and chest beats of his father. He watched the older gorillas, clever and quick, as they wrestled and chased and swung from the vines. He did not learn about humans until it was too late. Poachers with loud guns and cruel hands stole the little gorilla and another baby. So if you don't know what a poacher is, here's a picture of one. It's a person who takes animals from their homes and normally takes them to make money. And after thousands of miles and endless days in a black damp crate, at last came light and fresh air. The jungle green with life was gone. The gorillas had traveled halfway around the world to Tacoma, Washington. A man who owned a shopping mall had ordered and paid for them, like a couple of pizzas, like a pair of shoes. People cooed and laughed and held the babies. They dressed them in human clothes and fed them human food. The shopping mall owner ran a Name the Babies contest. The winning names were Burma and Ivan. So you can see in these illustrations here that they're eating a cupcake, they're wearing a diaper, they're almost like they're treating them like real babies. One dark day, soon after the babies arrived in their strange new world, Burma died. Without her, Ivan was all alone with too much left to learn. You can see in this picture just how scared Ivan is. While he was little, Ivan was cute and cuddly. For 3 years, he lived in a home like a human child. He slept in a bed and went to baseball games. He held babies and rode on a motorcycle. He had to learn many things gorillas in the wild don't ever need to know. The one thing Ivan didn't learn was how to eat. The more he ate, the more he grew. The more he grew, the less he could live. A human life in a human house. Look at Ivan eating all of those donuts. A cage in the mall became Ivan's new home. There wasn't much to do. Sometimes Ivan watched TV. Sometimes he played with an old tire. Sometimes he finger painted, signing the papers with his thumbprint. Mostly he watched the humans watching him. Ivan was about 13 when his coat began to shimmer with silvery white hairs. He'd grown into a silverback gorilla. In the jungle, he would have been ready to protect his family, but he had no family to protect. Do you see? Let's look over here, his amazing paintings. Year after year passed. People began to grow angry about Ivan's lonely life. Children and adults wrote letters and signed petitions and held protests. Sometimes people write letters and sign petitions and hold protests to try and make a change about something that they think needs to be different than how it normally is. Ivan lived in his cage without the company of other gorillas for 27 years before he was sent on another journey. This time, the hands were gentle. Zoo Atlanta wasn't a jungle, it was a place with walls. Still, the breeze carried jungle sounds and scents. Scientists who understood the needs of gorilla helped Ivan adjust slowly, carefully, and gently to his new life. So now Ivan doesn't have to live in a small cage. He can live in a zoo where the zookeepers know a lot about him and make sure that he's living the best life he can. Finally, it was time. Was Ivan ready? Cameras clicked. Reporters watched. When Ivan stepped onto the cool green grass, the sunlight gleaming on his silver hair, people cheered and laughed and wept with joy. Ivan, the shopping mall gorilla, was in a place with trees and grass and other gorillas at last. In leafy calm and gentle arms, a gorilla's life began again. So here is a picture of Ivan. And this part of the book is really interesting because you can see a real picture of Ivan here, a photograph that someone took. And this is one of his paintings. So today we are going to make a painting similar to how Ivan made it. So what you're going to need is a Ziploc bag, a plain piece of paper, and some paints. I decided to use 3 colors. However many you want to use, it is up to you. What's fun about this activity is that painting can get very messy. So with this activity, we are going to keep it as clean as possible. So if your paper doesn't fit in your bag exactly, you can fold it a little bit. See, I folded this edge just a small bit. I'm going to open my bag and make sure that my paper fits inside of the bag. Perfect. Now, what I'm going to do is sometimes you have to shake up paint. So I'm going to shake up my paint a little bit. I have a green, a pink, and a gray. So I'm just going to take and ask an adult before you do this activity. Ask someone for their help or if it's okay to do this. You're going to take the green paint and just put a little bit on the paper. So I just put a small dot. I'm going to take my pink paint, a small dot again on the paper. It doesn't matter, you can do it anywhere. I'm going to take my gray paint and put a little dot on the paper. It's not coming out. Sometimes you have to shake it extra. There we go. Now, this is a very, very important step. You have to make sure you close that bag all the way. Now, what you can do is you can finger paint without making a mess. So look what I'm doing here. So it's hard to hold, but you can see that I'm moving the paint with my fingers and the mess is staying inside. Now this kind of looks like Ivan did right in the story. And let me show you a picture of his. His pictures weren't perfect, but they were very creative, as you can see here. And that's what your painting is going to look like. And if you want to, at the end, once you're all done painting, take your thumb and really rub it into one part, just like Ivan did in his. Thank you so much for joining me to read this story today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.